Hi you bees. I was going to spend some time out in the garden and do another video today, but just look at that sky. Can you see that? We're getting a storm, so I don't think I'm going to get much done in the garden, but we'll see what we can get through. I wanted to show you what it looks like in the beginning of November. We've had a couple of months of spring, and so we've got a lot of stuff growing, and things like strawberries and tomatoes and zucchini and corn, and it's generally looking nice and green. This is how the best it'll probably look before the summer heat. We also have had quite a dry spring, so it's been hard to water, but anyway, we'll see what's happened. So see these cherry tomatoes, they just self-seed every year and they are the best cherry tomatoes. I don't even plant them and they just grow beautifully. And there's so many of them, I can't eat them all. I tend to give a lot away, and I also freeze them and make like a spaghetti sauce or a pasta sauce out of them. I don't take the skins off or anything. They just go straight into the pot and get cooked down, and they're delicious. So I've got to pick some of these because the plant is starting to finish. You can see the leaves are starting to get brown and die back, and so I don't let these plants keep going and going, and I tend to top them out as well to stop them growing too big, because I find if I do that I get a better yield of tomatoes than having like great big tall plants. I find if I keep them shorter I get more tomatoes, because all of these tomatoes down the bottom get a chance to ripen up before the plant starts to die off and come to the end of its life. You can see at the top how it's just fading out, and if I'd let it grow sort of taller, these bottom tomatoes wouldn't ripen as well before the plant died. So I just find that works best for me, to keep the vine shorter and concentrate on the tomatoes in the middle rather than trying to get huge, great big plants where your tomatoes are no good. So I'll start to pick these. The other thing that's doing really well is blueberries. So I've got 2 pots of blueberries here, and look, 2 plants is probably not enough to be able to pick some and preserve them, but I tell you, it's so much fun coming out here every day and just snacking on fresh blueberries. It's so much fun. Look at that, straight in the mouth. Yum. My strawberries are doing really well this year. As you know, I completely refurbished my strawberry bed. So I ended up dividing all the strawberries from last year and making 2 new strawberry beds. And so the plants are only small, but what they'll do at the end of the season is they'll send out these little shoots and make new plants, and then next strawberry season I'll get even more strawberries. Here's one. That's a nice one. Let me pick him. Look at that. So I'm getting heaps of strawberries, and I've been making strawberry jam. This strawberry is growing out of a crack in the pavement. They're pretty robust little plants. I have to keep all of my strawberries behind this mesh because I've got one doggo that loves to eat the strawberries. Hey Vivian, one strawberry? One strawberry? Oh gosh, get the strawberry. Yeah, she loves them, and she will eat them at any opportunity. Won't you, Viv? So I've got some onions here that are starting to get a flower head. Can you see that? So I'm going to pull these up, and I'm going to use them with my tomatoes. Nice. Look at this. This is a cauliflower I forgot about, and it's obviously bolted. But I might just leave it go and see if I can get some seed. This is my fig tree. I've got it in a pot. I suspect its roots are coming out the bottom of the pot, but anyway. And it's started to put on some little baby figs. Aren't they cute? And this is one that started really early, so I think it just started too early. But it's growing, and I've got lots of baby figs in the tree. I'd love to dry some. There they are. The corn's going good. It's about waist height. You can already start to see the flower heads growing down in there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, might get some good corn this year. See the flower head? It's behind the mesh, which acts really well to keep them growing upright. Down in there I've got those really old bulbs of garlic. So back in April I put some garlic in the ground. I've harvested my main crop, but I had these tiny little bulbs left over and I just stuck them in the corner over here. So they're still growing. I don't know what I'm going to get, if anything. I'm half tempted to pull it out and see what's in there, because the main crop has already been lifted and dried. Let me see. Is there actually anything in there? Growing. One little clove. I didn't want to chuck the tiny little cloves in the bin, so I thought I'd just put them in the ground and see what I got. But, oh, actually I've got a little baby. Oh, if I can get it out. Come on. Where are you? Here we go. One itsy bitsy clove of garlic. It did grow. Wow, my first zucchini of the season. I came out about a week and a half ago and just sort of hand pollinated this one. And I think that is ready to go. There we go. My first 2023 zucchini. So I just come out here and hand pollinate the female flowers just to give them a bit of a hand. Make sure we get lots of pollen on there. I've got plenty of male flowers, which is nice for a change, because quite often I don't get the male flowers at the same time as the female flowers. So that's a male flower and I just pull the petals off and I make sure I get some pollen down on the female flower. Here we go again. Just rub it all over the bit in the middle. You can tell it's a female flower because that is the growing zucchini. This year I'm making more of an effort to prune the zucchini plants back. I think it's actually working to get more sort of airflow to the main plant. I just come in and snip off these great big leaves. Gives the plant sort of more space. You can see I've been taking the leaves off. Opens the plant out. Hopefully it won't get as much sort of powdery mildew that we tend to get here with our high humidity. If you're someone that deals with fruit fly like we do, they love tomatoes and they just ruin all the crop. This year I thought I'd try these little lures. So apparently they lure in the male fruit fly and they actually work. I was a bit dubious, but see all the male fruit flies in there? So they're all dead in there. Just bought these from Bunnings. So with a bit of luck, I'll actually get some fruit fly free Roma tomatoes, and that's mainly why I grow the cherry tomatoes, because I don't seem to be attracted to them, and I have miserable sort of luck with Roma or any of our big tomatoes because of the fruit fly, and I don't want to spray them with stuff. But you can see the basil is also starting to come up. Also trying to keep my tomatoes trained on these little strings, just one. Every year I promise myself I'll keep the tomato plants neat and tidy and trained. Never happens. So this year I'm making more of an effort. So I'll show you, I've just pruned the tomato plants. Looks like a bit of a savage haircut, but I thought, I'll give it a go, get a bit more disciplined about it. So that's all of the tomato leaves. I'll compost them. If you want bushy basil plants, cutting them frequently really helps. You can see where I've cut this one before and it's divided out into 4 stems. So you get lots more basil that way if you keep them trimmed. There you go, there's some fresh basil to add to my tomatoes and onions. So I've got loads of mint growing here. So what I think I'm going to do is harvest some of that and dry it for mint tea. Or I even might try and make some mint sauce. I've never done that before. I'll give it a go. And there's all the mint. Oh my God, it smells delicious. I need to prune these zucchini. I have to pick that up first. Like the tomatoes with this year's zucchinis, I've decided not to let the plants get too old. And what I mean by that is, you know, once they start really vining out and, you know, they're like a metre long, I'm just going to pull them and not let them go forever, because I find they just kind of exhaust themselves, you know, in an effort to grow more fruit. And I'm better off just pulling them and replanting a whole new plant. We've got such a long growing season here that I can probably plant 2 or 3 successions of zucchini during the season, and that way I don't have to worry about pests and diseases. I just sort of pull them out, and then in a different spot of the garden I'll put in some new zucchini plants rather than trying to keep them too long. I think that's been my problem in the past. Here comes the rain. But before it does, I wanted to show you my zinnias. So these all self-seeded from last summer, and they look pretty. And this is my potatoes, so I'm not sure how much longer they live. You can see some of the lower leaves are starting to yellow, and I planted these a couple of months ago, like hugelkultur method. So at the bottom of here is a whole heap of sticks and logs and sort of leftover garden waste, and then I put the good soil on top and some mulch. But I've started to see some really good sized potatoes growing under here. So I think they like the drainage that they get with the hugelkultur, plus, you know, I've just been trying to keep the water up to them during the dry spring, but I'm hoping in about another month these would have died back and I'll get some good potatoes. Oh, here's another strawberry. Viv, do you want a strawberry? Want a strawberry? Want a strawberry? Hang on, let me take the green bit off for her. She doesn't really like that bit. Here, strawberry. Nom 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 nom. Love strawberries. Another one? She's getting a haircut tomorrow. Can't see her face. It's really starting to rain out here now. I'm gonna have to go inside. But I thought I'd show you my olive tree. Never actually harvested an olive, but it's such a pretty colour tree that I've kept it in a pot all these years. Hey doggo, what are you looking for? You looking for lizards? You found a lizard? Have you found a lizard? Bloody dog dug a hole. Who did that? Oh, I have some baby quince. How do I keep the bugs off them? So Yubies, I have this little problem with my hose. I'll show you. That's the hose. Okay, does it look like yours? Just always laying around the backyard. So my problem is that thing doesn't let me hose. It triggers her and she becomes possessed whenever I get the hose out. So I tend to use the watering can a fair bit to water my plants, particularly for pots. And I just rely on the rain to water the garden. Last year she ripped out the irrigation that I put in, but anyway, that's another story. So this year I went out and bought like a rain harvesting container that you hook up to the gutter, and it's pretty good. It's from Maze, M-A-Z-E, and they just delivered. I just ordered online, and it's only 100 litres, and it's perfect for the watering can and for my pots. And you hook it up to the gutter, to the downpipe on your gutter, which was pretty simple. So I'm going to see how it goes. So I'm really glad it's raining so it can fill up, and I can use it just with a watering can to water my pots, so I don't have to worry about lugging a watering can across the backyard. I'll give you a look at it. See, it's got a little tap on the bottom, hooks up to the gutter. I did it all myself. It's got 100 litres in there, and I'm going to see how it goes. Like I said, it wasn't very expensive. I think it was like 99 bucks or something, and that included like free shipping. Delivered straight to my door within a couple of days. The service was really good, so I'm thinking of getting one of their compost bins as well, and a few more of these to put around outside to use with the watering can. It's starting to pour. I'm going inside. You coming in? Are you two coming inside? Oi, come on. You two coming inside? Come on. Come on. Inside. Audrey, stop eating the grass. I put those cages there to stop her digging in the grass where I've put some new dirt in. But as you can see, she just wants to eat the grass.